think that, yes, co-regulation is the term that I think really well captures what goes on.
Mhm.
To back up a little bit, we humans are social creatures.
Mhm.
We are wired to connect. Our big brain is considered to have evolved for that purpose, for understanding social phenomena. The brain is wired through connection in early childhood through parent baby interaction. Nature and nurture work together. So we have our genetic predispositions, our temperament, and then how we're raised, of course, affects us, which we've all known for a long time, but now science is actually validating that. Um, and couples specifically co regulate each other for better or for worse. Many of the couples who come to our offices are dysregulated. They are dysregulating each other. So 10 years ago, my colleague Michelle Schenkman and I published an article in Family Process called The Vulnerability Cycle, working with impasses in couple therapy. And we identified the loop, the cycle that couples get into when they're in distress, where one person feels vulnerable, their survival strategy comes on board, and they protect themselves, which then triggers the other person's vulnerability, which then triggers their survival strategy. So, for example, the couple in my book is Eric and Lisa. They're the composite couple that I made up of multiple cases in my practice. And Lisa, when she feels overburdened and abandoned and left alone by Eric, becomes quite reactive and critical. That makes him feel inadequate. That's his vulnerability. And he then withdraws or gets defensive, which makes her feel more alone, which makes her criticize more, which makes him withdraw more, etc. So that's the cycle that Michelle and I laid out in that article 10 years ago. And now we're really able to look at what's the neurobiology behind that cycle, what's going on when each one is feeling reactive. The other issue is that couples become very emotional, and emotions are contagious. So if I'm upset with my partner, he may well become upset with me, and then the cycle then escalates. So that's the downside of co-regulation, co-dysregulation. But there's an upside, which is that couples can soothe each other. They can take care of each other, which is, I think, a lot of what our work is in couple therapy, is to help them shift from the dysregulation to the positive regulation, to learn habits of soothing each other and of holding each other through empathy, gentle touch, sex. All of these, empathy, touch, massage, sex, they all release oxytocin. So oxytocin is sort of the darling of the neuroscience world, of the neurobiological world, because oxytocin lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone, right? So if you're stressed and your partner gives you a hug, your stress goes way down. Oxytocin is called the cuddle chemical, or the neuromodulator of attachment. Different people have given different words to it, right? Certainly Sue Carter's work is key in this, and many other people are looking at oxytocin. It bonds mothers and babies, and actually fathers and babies, if the father takes care of the baby, and it bonds lovers.